What's up, everybody? Today we are going to take this flat-sided crankbait, it's 2.6 inches long, and we are going to downsize it, as you probably have already seen in the thumbnail and the title above. But I want to make this bait as small as I can. No power tools. I live in an apartment, as you can tell. No space for power tools. So I've already looked at the math, done the conversions. Let me throw you around so you can see it. This bait is 2.6 inches in length. Has a height of about 1.15 inches and a width of 0.67. So to go 30%, we're looking to make this just over 3/4 of an inch long. Have a height of 0.34 inches and a width of 0.2. So that's about the size we want it to be with a single hook on the back. So let's get rolling. All right, here we go. We're gonna put this in together. Trying to be as precise as I can be, given the small size of this, but 0.78 in terms of length is what we're looking for. And a height 0.34. Three, 4, 5. There we go. That'll work. Alright, there it is. Now we just gotta get to cutting. I'm gonna downsize that, cut it in half. There we go. Now we get to sand it. Alright, before we carve, we're actually gonna put a couple down, so we're gonna do hopefully 2. We'll see how it all works out. But just, this is about 2, I mean, like 1/5 an inch. 1/5 of an inch, and we're gonna just try to keep these about that width. So we wanted it to be about 0.2 inches in width, and we're about there, just a little under by 0.005, but that's okay. So we're gonna carve it up, sand it out, get to moving. Hopefully you can hear me, but this wind is whipping. Here we go, rough estimate of the shape. We're gonna utilize sandpaper for pretty much here on out. Start with 120 grit, just to make sure we can get those rough edges down. Try to match that shape. But there it is. Now we got to work on the hardware portion. We're just going to have one single hook coming off of this. Got to figure out the line tie scenario. We'll go from there. So I'm thinking about taking this Aberdeen bait hook, and we're going to cut it. And just like a lot of ice fishing jigs, we're just going to place the hook off the tail end right there. And then we'll use the remaining portion of the eyelet as the actual eyelet. So we'll use that as our line tie. So it'll look something like that. We're gonna just cut that lip slot real quick to the best of our ability. There it is. Just going to use this small nail to kind of line up where I want that line tie, as well as the hook to come out. After I've got those holes kind of pointed out to the point where I know where I'm going to try to get this bait centered up, I'm going to take this screw eye. It is 3/4 of an inch at a diameter of 0.062, and just basically use this as my guide as best as I can to create a line tie. So I'll just screw that in, just trying not to rupture the wood. But if I do, it's okay, because we will be super gluing that area pretty heavily. And same goes for the rear. We're going to try to make this one a little deeper. There we go. So for reference, this is 3/4 of an inch. And there is our little flat-sided crankbait that we're working on. So this should do. Again, I can't make them too deep, otherwise things are going to start to explode. And I'd rather not have everything explode. So one last go through with the rear. There we go. That'll at least just give me something to hold on to. So I'm going to take the Aberdeen here and just clip it. We'll need to make some adjustments and trim. See how much we're gonna need to take off so we can get that in there, the exact amount that we want. And the same thing goes for the hook. I need to take a little bit more off of this one right here, the eyelet. I think that's going to be set and square. About perfect. All right. Put together the lip, and since I don't have any Lexan or any thick plastic, this is actually very thin craft plastic that I was going to use to make meltdown stencils. So it is, as you can see, pretty thin. But what I did is I just cut a small strip and pretty much replicated the size of each one for this little lip, and it's going to look out, it's going to be a little bit more pliable than I probably want, but it's okay. This is a tiny bait. You're not going to be using a ton of force crashing off rocks. So I cut and made five lips, and they're all tightly fit in there now. I mean, I can hold it, no problem. You'll see some overlay. So what I'll do is once I super glue this in, I'm going to sand the edges just to even them off a little bit so it'll look nice and smooth. But that is where we're at right now. I'm using Bob Smith's Inch Cure. This stuff can get messy quick because literally cures in like half a second. So we'll first just gonna work ourselves on the hook, the rear hook. So I'm gonna use this clip just to help reinforce some of what I'm doing. And also hope I don't glue myself to the bait. So I'm just going to apply a little pressure just so that I know that that is in about where I need it to be or want it to be. And let that drip down for half a second maybe, and we're already on the way. Give it one more in the front. Boom. Got a hook in there. Not too bad too, about straight. Better than I thought I was going to do on the first try. Look at that. All right. Try to straighten it up as best I can. That looks pretty good. And we're going to drop some super glue on there. And this time we'll cover the whole thing. We're going to tape everything up real quick. Got the lip taped up. I think I'm going to just go with a small shimmering shad look on this. To take the clips off and see how it looks. There we go. Glue some eyes on it. And this thing is about done. There we go. Just so you guys can check out the difference. There it is. You hear me? We are out at the lake. Local, just a local lake, inner city. We're gonna give this bad boy a test. There are a lot of tiny bass in this lake. Red ear sunfish, bluegill, crappie. So make our way down these giant rocks and see what we can get into, if anything. A maiden voyage. Ton more weeds than there were last time. There we go. Oh, right off the top. Nice fish too. There we go. It exploded right off the top of that bad boy. Well, I'll be the first to admit it didn't work out super well. I should have put some more weight on the bottom, but there we go. Just like that. On the new homemade miniature jerkbait flat-sided crank. Nice 9-inch bass here, half pound. Pretty sweet. Blew up off the top. Thank you. All right. Thanks for playing, big guy. Let's see what other. After testing it out for a while, it turned out to be a little bit more of a kind of like a whopper plopper. Stayed on top pretty parallel to the water, but that lip would just catch just enough and it would dive under and create a bunch of sound. And I think that's how I caught that first bass. We're gonna go try one more spot before I get out of here. But yeah, and if you get it to catch the lip, like whoop-ah. Just kidding, that's a joke too, it's a meme. But if you get it to catch that lip, it will go under and sway, which is kind of cool. It kind of definitely mimics a really, really small bait fish dying. But we're gonna go try one more spot, and if I catch something there, you'll see it. If not, thank you for watching, I appreciate it. Hopefully you learned a little something. I learned a ton already. I definitely know what I want to work on, and gotta get that bait a little bit more weight in the chest if I want it to dive a little deeper right off the bat. So thanks again, catch you next time.